Luke, Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No, I am your father.
Really? Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, which came out in May of 1980. I forgot which was the exact date, but that's fine. I got the month and the year right. That's all that matters. And I'm going to tell you my thoughts on what I thought about the second movie in the original trilogy, which was really the second movie in Star Wars in general. But it's the fifth movie chronological order. So, yeah. So first of all, I am going to start off that I really think, thinking long and hard about this, I love Revenge of the Sith. I think that is an underrated Star Wars film that gets lumped into, the hate with the rest of the other two prequels, which, I've come to terms with. Yes, okay, the first two prequels aren't that great, but I felt Revenge of the Sith really, George Lucas really pushed himself to really try to make a much better job than he did with those two, because I think he was tired of the hate by that point. And so there are times where I'm kind of conflicted that I want to give Revenge of the Sith the benefit of the doubt and say that it's the best Star Wars movie of all time. But now, obviously thinking about it more and more, Empire Strikes Back is the best movie of Star Wars to date. And, there's so many reasons why. I mean, you can start off with the whole Luke finally getting into his training thing. We got a little bit of that in Episode 4, New Hope, where Obi-Wan kind of trains Luke a little bit, but not to the extent that Yoda does, which is a lot of the stuff that I really like, especially when Yoda sends him through that little tunnel or whatever, and he comes face to face with Darth Vader. Not the real Darth Vader, but in I guess a recreation of him or something. That comes, and then the face explodes, the helmet explodes, and we see Luke's face in that, obviously symbolizing things to come. And obviously it's great stuff that leads towards the end, with Luke finally fighting Vader face to face, and Vader shows what he really is made of. When we saw him fighting Obi-Wan in Episode 4, New Hope, that was an old man versus a machine, right? And this machine is going to show Luke, his son, how a real man fights. And obviously the fights back in the original trilogy aren't as strong as the prequel trilogy. I still think the prequels have some of the best lightsaber battles to date. But I'm not going to deny that the lightsaber battle in Empire Strikes Back is definitely a much bigger improvement over the one we got in Episode 4, New Hope. So there's something that we got there. And it's not just about the action, it's also about the story. The story, to me, of Empire Strikes Back is definitely the strongest story by far. We even have a really cool relationship, a really good relationship with Leia and Han. It's kind of mind-blowing thinking about it. Like, George Lucas written the prequels, and the Han and Leia, relationship is much more entertaining than the Anakin and Padme relationship, which is freaking cringeworthy. But in this movie, it actually works. Maybe it's the bickering back and forth, who knows. Anakin and Padme had a little bit of bickering, but it didn't work the same way. Maybe it's the relationship between Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford that really work really well. But then I even like the interactions between Harrison Ford or Han Solo and C-3PO. I think that when C-3PO annoys the hell out of Han Solo, it cracks me up all the time, because C-3PO is kind of an annoying character. But you love it because Harrison Ford, Han Solo, plays off of him so well that you love it. And, we are also introduced to Lando Calrissian, played by Billy D. Williams, and he is a really cool smuggler kind of guy, and you don't really know, is he a good guy? Leia senses something bad about him, then he kind of betrays them, but then he also has, he doesn't want them to get hurt or anything, so he must be a good guy. And Lando is really a cool character. I really like him, especially when he turns on the good side and tries to help them out. That's really cool. I will admit though, I'm going to probably get a lot of hate for this. I don't care too much for the stuff in the beginning on Hoth. There's some stuff that I do like I like that snow monster, and Luke is hung up inside the cave for a while, and he has to escape and all that. I like that. I like some of the bickering again with Han and Leia. Obviously, when Luke gets back, the awkward kiss between Luke and Leia. That yeah, they there's this whole long ship. They get into their ships and they start fighting because the Empire finds out that they're on Hoth, and so they send in an attack force or something. And to me, it drags on a little bit too much. Other than that, though, for the most part, I'm really more nitpicking than anything else, because a lot of the stuff that it sounds like I'm hating on, I actually don't hate. I really enjoy this movie a lot. And definitely one of, not just a great film, it's one of the greatest films, period. I put Empire Strikes Back as definitely on my top 10 movies of all time. If I don't put the entire Star Wars saga, it's definitely Empire Strikes Back alone can stand on my top 10. And definitely it's a lot of fun. The score, the Empire's March, it was such a great score by John Williams. Just the score holds up just like the original Star Wars film score. John Williams, man, when you hear his music, he has some of the most iconic scores, and this is definitely one of his best. So with all that being said, guys, I'm going to give this a perfect 10 out of 10. Yes, I nitpicked a little bit, but you know what? Sometimes us nerds, we have to nitpick, even on the movies we love the most. And despite those little nitpicks, believe me, they don't bother me as much as I made it sound like it does. But if I had to give something negative about the movie, because no movie is perfect, even the perfect movies have something to pick at. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I love this movie, and it's definitely one of those films in my top 10. And if you haven't seen The Empire Strikes Back, go check it out. It's the one with the biggest, most iconic line in movie history. So if you haven't seen it, come on, get off your ass, go download it, go rent it, go do whatever it is, and watch The Empire Strikes Back, probably the best Star Wars movie of all time. And until next time, guys, one more movie to review, and then Force Awakens. Take care.